Hello YouTube, this is something what I wanted to do for a very long time, and this is my story on Ajahn Sudhiro and how the whole thing with the Ajahn Sudhiro happened. So it was like this. Ajahn Sudhiro was my abbot in a Buddhist monastery. He's a monk more than 30 years, and although technically speaking he's a Parajick, he's not a monk because he had a sex with a woman. So it was the 26th February 2013. I was sweeping around his kuti. It was 4 p.m. and immediately I felt that something is going on in his room, something very bad. I felt it, and I was sweeping, and after 30 minutes, first New came down, and New is his girlfriend, and she is pretty much every day with him, but on a seemingly open area. And we've been told that she is just like a daughter to him. That's all. And maybe they have some spiritual connection, but nobody was encouraged to think anything further than that, because monks are spying everything. Who is reporting any bad word about Lung Po to the Lung Po gets certain privileges. So in a monastery you have to be very careful about these things. What are you thinking about the upper? So that's why rumors are not circulating, because it's very strict. And half an hour after that, she came from the upper floor, and his kuti has 2 floors. First floor like office in the open area. It's not that big. It's maybe like 60 square meters, all of it. And then second floor only his kuti, maybe like only his room, maybe 20 square meters. So she came downstairs. And immediately after her, he came, and she sat on stairs and looked hurted, upset. And he came, and he waved, by her. He talked to her, he acted like a teenager in love. So for me, it was very clear. I was around 30 minutes, and what a monk or any man has to do with a woman in a room alone. Yeah. So that was it, and I kept it in myself for a very, very long time. But then, when all this change happened in the June 2013, when I made a spiritual contact with the truth, you can call it spirit, but this is how I call it because I vowed for truth, and I got the morgellons, and I figured out many other Buddha's lies, because long story, but I was talking about this in Buddhism 1, 2, 3. So that pressed me to simply say it, and I simply said it to a lady in a mobile phone shop where I was refilling always my internet deals and phone deals. And then she said it to other people, and in the meantime, Bred saw him with another woman. He saw him with another girl, but this one was not his regular girl. It was a girl from Laos, which is very close. Oh yeah, I have to tell you, the monastery is located 78 kilometers away from Khon Kaen in North Thailand. It's near town Phu Yang. It's called Wat PAh Katianabhisek, and his name is Ajahn Sudhiro, or also Lung Po Noi. It's a nickname. And he saw it. It was in his other kuti. He made even more beautiful kuti. This one out of wood and with lots of bamboos around, secluded, very nice. A piece of art, and I would like to upload the footage, but I can't edit my video material. I need Mac, and one day it's gonna be there. And he saw her basically leaving his toilet and running up to his room. And what was he doing? He was leeching on his Wi-Fi. Lung Po, and this is the story of the Lung Po, what is behind the facade, and it takes you time to figure it out. Lung Po had a Wi-Fi finally, and he was taking for himself maybe 80-90% of the Wi-Fi power. And Bred, that time monk, and also whistleblower like me who got kicked out. His name is Bred from New Zealand. He is from area close to Auckland. I don't know where is he now. And we are not in contact, although I contacted him via email, but he never responded. So, by that time, we've been very close. And he saw that. Oh my God, this is, so, so getting into the heart of the story. But what was my personal problem? I'll tell you. Little new, and she's 24-year-old, got 450,000 baht, which is like 11,000 euros for a new car, Honda, and this was like basically cash we would get in the whole year legally. Donation after Katina 450,000. So basically all the cash which could provide us with kutis. And guys, I didn't even start to talk in what kind of bullshit places we've been living. All that kind of cash was going on for a pussy. You dig me? Pussy costs money. And this was my problem, because at that time, that very time, when that was going on, I lived in the shelter, and I lived in this shelter which was not even a kuti. Kuti is a small monk's house, like 15 square meters. It's on pillars, like this one. No, this one was only one table, and luckily I had like a very good tent, mosquito tent, so it was impenetrable for snake, which was living maybe 5 meters away from me, on a pile of rubbish under it, and it was patrolling around. And at one occasion, it went under my mosquito net while I was typing on a computer, and it was, of course, a poisonous snake. In Thailand, out of 175 different species, correct me, 74 I think are poisonous, and they don't count snakes like horn viper as poisonous. It's like you can survive; it's not a big deal. Like cobra, that's a problem for them. So I was living like it, and other guys like Brandon from LA, he lived in a shelter which even didn't have like a proper roof. It had like a 2 parts. There was a nice open space in between, and he was sleeping there under the rain. You dig me? He had a glove to protect him mostly. It's like a monk's umbrella with a mosquito net, and he was living like it. So we've been living in this kind of conditions, not all of us, but most of us. And then he was like making one pussy after another and digging one piece of pussy after another. On top of it, to get the idea of skillfulness, he has a house in Oxford, which was of course donated by his LA followers from Britain. He has a house in New Zealand, which is apparently, story goes, renting. He has a monastery in New Zealand, so he's getting money from there. He has a monastery in Issan, which is not much, but he has a furniture workshop there. He's making furniture, not he, but he's €4 per day workers, actually 5, because he's paying them 200 baht, which is under 5. And the rice field. As a proper landlord, as a proper lord, he has, and this is the position of a Luang Por, because in a shop people are working and making bread. On that tumnai, on that field, whole family is working. You dig me? Whole family is working, and that field is right by the sala, right by the by the church, right there. It begins 15 meters away, right behind toilets. And he's constantly making money, and donations are coming, and he really does sponsors a number of students, male and female, mostly female, in a near Buddhist university, which is very cheap. They don't really get education because they don't know things like neighboring countries. Is Earth round? Does it evolve around the sun? I was explaining that to these students. Really, you wouldn't believe it. Basics. But some of them speak semi-decent English because they are very, very motivated. Because as teachers they can make money and get a job. Always as a teachers. So he has quite a number of people which are depending on him. You dig me? And that's why when we blew a whistle, first Bred and me, it all happened within a few days difference. Bred went to his superiors to report what he saw, and then his superiors called Luang Por immediately. He was in New Zealand, and then he fired us. And the next day, when I was trying to leave the monastery on my own and go to another monastery, I was stopped by the villagers. They threatened me with the police, but not overly aggressive, but they stopped me physically in a Thai style with a smile. And they took me to the main monastery. In the main monastery, I told everything to boss. My Lumpo Sudhiro's right hand trumpet, which is typical organic portal, was translating. And of course, they know all this, but it's a big business. You see, it's like everybody makes money, and whatever Ajahn Sudhiro makes, of course, that he gives to his superior. So they have business link. He doesn't have any business link with me. That's for I got fired from Sudhiro. I'm just explaining you Buddhism behind the Buddhism. So I was out. I was out, and so this is how telling the truth simply liberated me in a way. Although I really love the Buddhist way of life. I mean, my life here is pretty much Buddhist. In the morning I go for my pindabat, although I spend money, and then whole day I'm here, unless I go by the river to meditate. And that's basically, that's basically it. And I don't fuck. But I can't because nobody. I mean, I'm self-ordained. Okay, so I make my own rules. And so far, Buddha's rule number 1, which goes like if monk penetrates with the penis in a woman's and then goes vagina, anus, ear, nostril, and then mains, and he goes into details and puppet and animal. You understand me? Because this is exactly what was the first problem. If he penetrates more than 4 sesame seeds, or 3, I'm ex-monk, so I don't remember these details, I think 4, which is like 3 millimeters, if he penetrates more than 3 millimeters, then he is not monk anymore. So, in theory, because I was actually technically ordained by Parajick, I was actually never a monk at all. So whole my Buddhist career was kind of fake. But in the same sense, is any monk actually a monk? I mean, technically speaking, in that line of utter corruption, definitely chances that their superiors in some way, in some line, what I want to say, the metaphysical level around the show totally, and but this is just another thing I have to add in the whole story to get the idea. So I just mentioned the story 450,000 baht. So while we had a katina, all people, not small people, gave about 50,000 baht, which is about 1,100 euros. 1 euro is 44 baht. But one Chinese family from Bangkok gave 400,000. And of course, they've been people who've been sitting in very nice chairs in front of all others been sitting on the ground. And I just have to say, we immediately connected, and this is the Illuminati family. And that's all. Oh, right. Yeah, there was a deal with them not to expose. Fuck. I didn't say any names. So what else do I have to say? Nothing. Apart from one more thing. That same day, 26 February, but in the year 2012, I had this experience in Wat PAh Katianabhisek, also experience connected with the corruption. It was they didn't simply want to open me gates. I was Bakal also there, and I came when gates been already closed. It's in my diary. I think it was 6 p.m. or something. And I called the abbot and the secretary, and they didn't want to open the gates or send anybody because, quote to quote, they've been counting the money. So they've been so busy counting the money, they noticed my messages and everything, but they didn't give a shit. And I've been there like hour and a half, and then kitchen lady opened back door. So on the same date, 1 year after, whoever opened this door of possibility to see the truth opened it for me for the second time. So first time when I saw, obviously, what this management of monasteries are, how cold they are, even to the point not to open the gates to somebody. Now, is it significant for you? Let me tell you one thing, that same town where is Nanachat, which is Wat PAh Nanachat is located 15 kilometers away from Ubon Ratchathani, and in that area there is a criminal activity. One politician was machine gunned when I was there, with 250, 200 bullets or something, bullets everywhere. People been killing each other there.